Well, welcome and greetings to our beloved, what do we call them again, Herc?
Carryorbury followers, carryorburyers.
What about EDC family?
Well, they would be our EDC family as well.
I mean, that's kind of what I like to call them, but I mean, I guess to each their own, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Well, at any rate, thanks for joining us for yet another knife video. Whatever you want to be called, EDC family, or one of those wonderful things that Herc said. I'm your host, Prophet. With us, as always, is the professor and my wonderful right-hand man with the master plan, local knife maker and metal lover, Herc.
I'm here.
And I'm sure Kitten, Cousin, Chaos are kicking around here somewhere. And of course, they send their love as well. Now, I say this all the time, but I think I'm a little more excited today than usual, because we have an exciting knife not only to show them, but I have no idea what it is for the first time ever.
Ooh.
Like, I wasn't involved in this.
A little surprise.
It's a little surprise, or is it a fib? Ooh. EDC family, go ahead and type in the comments right now if you think I actually know if this knife or not, or if I don't really know, or if I'm fibbing. Either way, why am I doing it, right? But as always, we're going to let Herc talk about our disclosure today. So, Herc, why don't you go ahead and let them all know?
Yeah, as always, quick disclosure about our knife today and all the other knives and items we've had or even will have on our channel to this date. We do not have any sponsorship. This knife was purchased by us, tested, will be used by us in the real world. Is this knife right for you, or is it even legal to carry? I don't know. Okay. Remember, we're YouTubers, not lawyers. You should never get legal advice from anyone that isn't a professional. Seriously, look into, know about your local knife laws. Are you not sure how to do that? Well, lucky for you, I do know how. Doesn't hurt to visit, and if all possible, support akti.org. They are the American Knife and Tool Institute, and they're on the front lines, helping us keep our freedoms and rights.
Oh, I'm sorry, Herc. I was kind of goofing around. I'm glad you got our disclosure out to our EDC family.
Heck yeah.
I like to have a little fun. You know what I mean?
Who doesn't love a little fun?
And speaking of fun, I think one of my favorite things that we get to do on this channel is to yell. Because, like, even though we're in the studio and it's soundproofed at the compound here, when we do our pocket checks, normally we can get a little loud. So let's see if we can do that.
Rowdy.
Let's see if Professor has a hard time dumbing our mics down.
Ooh.
What was that darn slogan again, Herc?
Is something about is a dolphin? Was there a dolphin in there?
Something about a dolphin. Or wait, show me something.
Oh, I remember. Show me the flipper.
Doggy, I like when you go crazy, boy. And I think that means it's time to talk about what we carried today. So this is the Prophet side of the pocket check. Prophet's pocket check is we actually filmed an entire video on this wonderful Norseman here. By the Grimsmo brothers. This is the Grimsmo Norseman, and this is a special Norseman. We got through the whole video, and we had an error with one of our cards. Super fun. So we are going to refilm this, but in the meantime, I thought, why not bring it out and play with it and have a little fun with it, you know, and just do a little bit more testing. Because we've had the Norseman on our channel before, as we talked about, Herc. This Norseman, however, this guy right here, is a little different.
A little different.
And it's a little unique, and dare I say limited?
Yeah, definitely wouldn't be considered one of your budget knives.
No. And awesome. Anyways, we'll talk about that later. I digress. In the meantime, so watch for that video that should have already been out. And Herc, you know me, I love coins. I always got to have a pocket piece.
You are a coin guy.
I did a joke not long ago, and I don't even know if it made it into a video, about having a kilo of silver walking around. So I was going to do the joke today again about, I brought a kilo of copper in my pocket. But let's be honest, I didn't do that. I actually had 2 coins as my pocket pieces today because gold's going crazy. So I wanted to have a little bit of gold, but not so much that if I lose it, I'd hate my life. And I'm like, you know what would be cool? What if I carried around a little piece of platinum as well, same size? So I just had a couple 10th ounces that I played with today.
Who doesn't?
Yeah, who doesn't? So I've got a 10th ounce gold and a 10th ounce platinum. And, well, they're in an Atmex holder because there's tiny, right? But, yeah, this is kind of what I carried around for luck today. And wouldn't you know it, gold went down and so did platinum. So I don't know. Maybe I shouldn't be messing with stuff like that anymore. I'll stick to copper, right? Because let's be honest, you know, whatever. I don't care if that moves a lot. With that being said, my friend, I didn't carry a knife today, or I'm sorry, a torch or a flashlight because it's been real bright on the compound. Let's see what was in your pocket today while you were on the other side of the city.
I know everyone is going to be completely shocked, astonished, surprised when they see my torch for the day.
You got to be kidding me.
Arkfeld Ultra. I know. We've never shown this on the channel, actually.
Never. You know, this is the first. There's a first for everything.
Yeah.
And this is, I mean, EDC family is really getting treated today.
They are, yeah. This brand, no, I'm just kidding. We've shown this many times. This is my daily carry. I love this thing. The finish on this is amazing. Doesn't show any sort of wear. Olight actually came out with a bunch of new stuff in this OAL, their new proprietary aluminum. So I would definitely check that out because I definitely will.
Now, I know you think I was joking, but if I remember in our disclosure, you said we didn't have any sponsors, right?
We do not.
You'd think Olight would give us a call at some point.
Yeah.
Hey, Olight, we're here. We know we don't have the the biggest following, but hey, we're fun. We're fun to deal with, right?
So that was my torch for the day. And then I actually carried this knife here. Gift from the one and only Prophet himself.
A gift from Prophet and Professor?
He's very stingy. He doesn't like to give out gifts very often.
I don't know. That looks like a cool little guy. What's it called?
It's beautiful. The Remet Wild Species M390. Prophet and I were talking earlier about how much I love M390. I used this thing pretty hard over the weekend, and you can't tell. I mean, this thing looks brand new. I haven't even stropped it after I did that. It just doesn't wear at all. So love this knife. Love carrying it around. It's comfortable in the pocket. Cuts like a dream. I was carrying this.
Dane would know this out of all of our followers, of our subscribers. We love Dane. He's family to us. He would know that you were our budget guy from early on the channel, and I was kind of the Gucci guy or whatever you want to call it.
Bougie knife guy.
Bougie knife guy. Yeah, because budget, bougie budget, which we are going to, you heard that here first, right? EDC family.
Yeah.
Bougie guy, budget guy. Coming soon, we're going to have knife battles.
Yeah.
Stay tuned. In the meantime, let's just say that Herc was always saying, I don't know why people pay that much money for knives. So I'm like, I'm going to grab Herc a little special M390 knife with titanium. I haven't seen him carry any of those other knives for a while, which put the kitten, myself, and the professor in a little bit of a dilemma. But if you remember our greeting, you might figure out what we're doing here in a minute. I digress. Herc, thanks for showing us what's in your pocket.
Absolutely, yeah.
Awesome. I think we played around a little bit enough.
Yeah,
Professor doesn't want hour-long, knife videos, especially on just box openings, right?
That's also some of the feedback we've been seeing, and I've been looking at that feedback on the comments, so we're definitely going to try and improve, keep those comments coming in. I will continue to look at those. Yeah.
A lot of ums. Drink a beer every time Herc says
Ooh, drinking game.
Herc, it's your turn.
Family channel.
Why don't you pull that thing off and get that knife open? Let's see what we got.
Excited.
Woo! Oh, I know that box. That doesn't look super familiar.
No, I wonder what brand this one is.
It's a Spyderco.
The spider you see on the front doesn't give it away.
Go ahead and open her up. Let's see what we got, bud.
All right, let's see what the knife is.
You turn it so the Spyderco shows for our EDC family, and I'll shut up now because they don't like Prophet talking too much. Go ahead and pull her out.
I love Prophet.
We don't need to do the suspense anymore.
Let's see what we got here.
And as you can see, our friend is kicking over the coffin and everything, trying to stay in
excited. I'm excited. Ooh.
What do we got, bud?
Look at this Spyderco here.
What is it?
This is definitely an Endura 4.
Is that that's the 4?
Oh, that knife looks a little fancier than most.
That doesn't look like a normal Spyderco knife.
Ooh, this looks like a special one.
What do they call that? Damascus?
They do call this Damascus. Layered steel.
Yeah,
definitely is Damascus.
I can see with all the oil on it, though, that it definitely isn't Damas steel.
Not Damas steel.
We're going to be definitely just normal Damascus. Let's get the box out of there a little bit, and let's get your first impressions, bud. And while you're doing that, we're going to go right into the Knowledge is King section, okay? Go ahead, open it up, Herc. See what you got. Close her. Let's see how you're feeling.
Yeah, this is definitely a very light knife. Love the texturing on the handle here. Blue, beautiful coloring. The proprietary kind of hole in the handle there for the Spyderco. Love always those blade shapes.
What blade shape would that be on the Endura? That's a tough one, right?
Yeah.
I guess what we'll just do is we'll call it Spyderco blade shape, right?
Spyderco blade shape. Love the thumb ramp, though.
Well, they're pretty good about their thumb ramps, especially on their in-house stuff, which this is, the Endura is. Well, didn't I just say knowledge is king? I'm sure Professor has it up somewhere right here. So while you're playing with the knife, I'll give a little information on Spyderco. Folks, it's been a while since we did a Spyderco on the channel. We usually do them, obviously, when we're doing comparisons. But they were founded in 1976. And if 1976 doesn't ring a bell to you, it should if you're in the USA, because that's our bicentennial, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Pretty cool. So Spyderco started in the mid 70s there. They pioneered features on their knives, like the round hole. Oh, you straighten that coffin for the EDC family because that's driving me crazy.
Getting a little nuts here.
Is that
trying
thing,
to Spidey flick it?
Well, I
it's
think
a little
it's
tough
tight.
to use one-handed.
Is it tight?
Yeah, a little tight.
Well, I think we just need to loosen the pivot. So Sal and Gail Glesser, they founded Spyderco. They had all kinds of early products, one of them being the triangle sharp maker, which again is another pioneering thing. They had the C01 Worker in 1981, which was the first knife that introduced their round hole, the pocket clip, and an option serrated edge.
Oh, yeah.
1981, bud, crazy. What a crazy thing to think about. All of those things pioneered in that year by this company 5 years after they were invented.
Wow.
Pretty cool.
Forward thinking, for sure.
Well, and talk about forward thinking. They got facilities all over the U.S. They also have a very famous one in Taiwan. They also have, obviously, Japanese, where this knife comes from. They also have manufacturing in Italy, which we don't see a lot of here, and also in China. They even have a new Chinese subcategory company called Bird. That's B-Y-R-D.
Oh, I guess I didn't know they were related. I suppose you do always see the hole in the blade in the Bird knives as well. I guess I didn't connect the dots.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. So
absolutely,
that's a little bit of great knowledge as king, and not too far, not too not, right?
Oh, that was very nice.
Oh, that sounds wonderful. Well, while you're playing with the Endura a little bit, what comes after knowledge is king, bud? The Professor's Particulars. I'm loving how you're doing this right now, buddy. You're killing it. Before we get into the Professor's Particulars, why don't I ask you real quick? You always do, Herc. Why don't we ask you real quick what what are you thinking some of the things are right out of the box on that? How's it look? You've never seen one of these before in person,
Never
have
seen
you?
one of these before, no. Very balanced knife. Having a little bit larger hands, I love the bigger handle on this. I mean, I can definitely get all 4 fingers on there very comfortably. Using that thumb ramp, very comfortable grip on it. A lot of usable cutting space on the knife here. Nice and long blade. The Damascus on there is just beautiful.
And that is a VG10 Damascus on that. I don't know how many layers it is. I'd have to do a little bit more, information on it as we go. Now, typically, this is kind of going to give this away. EDC family, normally this is where I'm pulling out the scale and everything like that. You're going to notice right now that I was kind of fibbing with everyone about not knowing about this knife. Are you a little confused, Herc?
A little bit, yeah.
I'm going to tell you why you're confused, but let's go through Professor's Particulars first as you show the knife on the camera. Well, you are looking at an overall length on this one, bud, of 8 780 thousandths of an inch, which is 223 millimeters. The blade length, right? Because everyone needs to know that. 3.8 inches, bud.
It's a good sized blade.
97 millimeters. And again, like I said, that's going to be VG10 Damascus steel right there.
Look at that steel.
So pretty.
Beautiful.
You're probably noticing that it's really light. Are you noticing that, bud?
Super light, yeah. Very, very light.
Well, that is an FRN handle. Some people love them, some people hate them. But the beautiful thing about it is you can get custom handles, custom scales, if you prefer to call it scales, whatever you want. But about the handle, when it's closed, we're at just under 5 inches, 126 millimeters or 4.98 inches. The edge length, right, your cutting edge is going to be 3.46 inches. However, depends how the police officer likes you. Please check your local knife laws. That's a pretty important thing, as we all know. Now, it is a tip up carry position, right? It's got a nice grind on the flat grind on the blade, as you can see.
Grind.
And you really can't go wrong, right? Pretty darn cool. Now, you can find these in titanium. You can find these in, I believe I even seen one in Packawood, but they were sold out. That was on Spyderco's website, an exclusive. Super beautiful. Again, this is the FRN one, or the Knife Joy exclusive with the blue FRN. Okay, pretty cool, right? You can't really go wrong with that. Did I mention the blade thickness on Professor's Particulars?
You have not mentioned the blade thickness yet.
I didn't think so. If I remember right, I think the blade thickness on this guy was... Oh, by the way, this is a drop point, they're calling it.
Let's
So
stay
it is
on
a
track.
drop point
Profit?
blade. We talked about that earlier. Again, full flat grind.
Suppose I could see it. A little bit of a drop at the edge here.
Yeah, I mean, you can kind of see, right, like where they're getting that from. Fantastic. We're at 3.4 ounces, and again, we have the blade thickness, by the way, 118 thousandths of an inch.
That's a thin guy. Nice and
Yeah,
slicey.
that's 3 millimeters, my brother. That is a slicey little guy right there. Can't go wrong.
No.
Now, this is from Japan. A lot of these are going to be there, and it's quite all right. They do a very good job. But now, like you were noticing when you get them out of the box, they're not always centered because sometimes they torque that guy down pretty darn good on the pivot. So that's something we'll have to figure
A
out.
little bit out there. Not sure if the EDC family can see that.
Yeah. Let's get into comparisons real quick. Why don't you weren't really sure. I actually asked Herc, EDC family, if he would figure out some comparisons. So he put his own Riyadh in here, not knowing what we were going to see. And man, I got to be honest, or Ramet, forgive me, that actually is darn close.
Blade length is pretty much there. Handle's short, a little bit shorter.
Oh, the blade, yeah. Oh, the blade length, I think, is what's shorter. Let's see. Let's back your handle up a bit to where it would match. Yeah, maybe a little bit on both. Tiny bit on the handle and a little bit more on the blade, because you've got 3.8 inches total here, and this is going to be the 3.5, I think, if I remember right. You also have titanium scales here. Let's look at those guys close real quick. Oh, wow, this thing is a little tight. We'll definitely loosen that up for you, Herc. Oops, I didn't say that.
Wait, what?
No, well, let's just continue. Let's also take a look at another Spyderco, because you really do love this guy, right?
Oh, yeah.
So we always have to make sure that we have one Spyderco sitting around. And this is the Sleece buoy, the second wave out of the 3 waves. Much shorter knife, obviously. You also have that, 0.51 inch millimeter hole right there. Hello, Spyderco. Yep, so that's what that looks like. I'm interested in this one. So one of the other ones that Herc wanted to put up here was a ProTech. It is going to be a lot smaller knife, obviously, but it's going to be very close to what you're dealing with. This is a Dawkins. If you're just checking back in with us here at Carrier Bury, you're going to realize that we were doing comparisons and we had a malfunction with the camera.
Malfunction.
One more knife. Again, you got to remember, Herc was not sure what knife we were going to look at today.
That's pretty.
So, but I'll be honest with you, I think out of all the ones you chose today, this one's going to look the coolest. If you don't recognize what this is, Herc, this is a Mick Strider collaboration, right, with ProTech. And this particular one, I think I've made into a little bit of a mirror, or tried to.
Definitely.
It's definitely not perfect, and I've screwed it up a little bit over time. However, would you hand me that little thing right there? Look at you.
Oh, this Carrier Bury cleaning cloth?
You're
Absolutely.
such a sweetheart. We got through the comparisons. Comparisons are done. Say goodbye to the comparison.
Bye-bye.
license plate. You hit it again. Yeah, that big monster hand of Herc's is just, which, messes with steel all day, keeps hitting the table. Professor needs to hang this camera from the ceiling as well. I think it would be the best thing he could do. Remember that, Professor? We're talking to you. I digress again.
A digression.
Spyderco. So, Herc.
Endura 4.
What normally comes on a box opening after the after we do the comparisons? Do you remember? Have you done this enough to remember that?
I'm having a brain toot.
Well, while you're having a brain toot, I'm going to quick give our disclosure. Or disclaimer, because we did the disclosure earlier.
We did do that.
So, folks, always be mindful of your local knife laws and regulations, especially with things like size and automatic knives for carrying. So, and also, like Herc talked about earlier, please support organizations that advocate for our rights. One thing that we will normally start to do right now is what we like about the knife right off the bat, right? So we only usually do 3 things to see if it's something that we would, practice with, play with, use in the real world, and then see if it would make it on our channel. Absolutely. For a real Carrier Bury review. Herc, tell me something you like about the knife.
I love how light it is. Very, very light.
Well, and if you remember, EDC family, that beautiful little Endura 4 with the FRN blue handles, which is a Knife Joy exclusive, by the way, that fantastic little buddy right there has 3.4 inches, right, of cutting. But the blade itself, if you had a mean cop, they'd measure it at 3.8. Mm-hmm. And it only weighs 3.4 ounces. For for Damascus, are you kidding me? Mm-hmm. Spyderco, Japan, great job on that.
Did it. Nailed it.
Literally. Wait, nail?
But it's a clip.
Nail, we're not doing nails, we're doing needs.
This is a need.
Gotcha.
This is a pocket
So we can't say nail it, that might confuse our EDC
family. I don't want to confuse anyone.
All right, so Herc likes how light it is. Let me go with another need here. You know what I'm actually going to do on this guy? I'm actually going to go with the the blade. I love the Damascus blade they did on this. It's absolutely beautiful, and it actually even has that little, it's not a Homone line, obviously, but it kind of has that faux Homone look. Very Japanese-ish. And if I'm not saying that correct, our wonderful Japanese viewers, that wasn't on purpose. It's got that beautiful, only in, you know, from Japan craftsmen that you can usually get or see it. It's absolutely gorgeous. So I'm going to go with the blade. So, you know, need number 1 was the lightweight that you called. Need number 2 is the blade. Give us a third need on it.
I'm going to go with the handle. I love a good size handle on a knife, something I can really get a good grip on. And this one is, this is it. I mean, I can get all 4 fingers on there. You can really choke down on it. I wouldn't do a lot of hard use with it. That pocket clip kind of gives you a little bit of a hot spot.
Does it now?
But the size of this handle, the ability to get 4 fingers on it, I'm for it.
He's for it. Well, let's go right into nails then. So we'll quick do a recap for Professor. Herc went with on the needs, lightweight. So that need is lightweight. I like the blade, the Damascus blade that is just really well done with a faux Homone-ish type line. I mean, it's just very clean, very beautiful. And then you went with the size of the handle because you love stuff over 5 inches.
I do. I love a good handle.
You heard him, EDC family. He loves a handle over 5 inches. All right. Now, with that being said, my little size queen.
Family show.
You're right. You know what? Fair enough. Well, I meant, is your mind somewhere else?
No, the handle.
Oh, okay. Okay. That's
you
what I
got
thought.
to keep in mind people's smaller hands.
You know what? Very fair. EDC fam, some of you might have smaller hands. Remember, Herc and I are gigantic. So keep that in mind if you're looking for an Endura 4. Now, that was the needs, right?
Yes.
Then we got into nails, right? And then you tell us what a nail is on it.
I do like the size of the handle. Pocket clip does get to your hand a little bit.
Ooh, are we going ergonomic?
Yeah.
An ergonomic issue?
Yeah.
Or is it more of a hotspot issue? What do we got?
I guess they would kind of fall into the same category.
Sure.
I feel like if you made a Venn diagram,
Yeah.
hotspot, ergonomics, those would all kind of fit in. They'd be in that intersection.
You heard it best, folks.
Yeah.
Our first nail is going to be a hotspot or ergo. Same thing to us here at Carryorbury, or at least to Herc.
I would say.
I actually have been waiting for my nail, and I was hoping you didn't use it. So, and I think a lot of people have seen the struggle with this right away. And I've seen this. I love you guys in Japan. Your work is beautiful. Your blades turn out fantastic. There's something with fit and finish and that I have a problem with. So, you know, again, the holy cow, I don't think we pointed this out yet. You can actually see that VG10 core inside this Damascus. That is so cool.
Yeah.
Absolutely beautiful. Wow. That is super. I love core Damascus. It's so cool.
Absolutely.
Forgive me, I digress. Yeah, I'm going to go with quality control. I mean, we've got the blade very close to that show side. I'm going to bet it's from over tightening. You know, I really am. And this time I hit the table. I'm going to go with over tightening here. You know, it's one of those things that I'm going to bet that that's the issue. But even if it's not, on most Spyderco knives, usually they're done well enough that I can get that fixed. But again, even spidey flicking is difficult on this Spyderco, right? So, and look at that. Actually, on the website it was on that said it was right-hand tip-up only. There is 4 spots for us to move that clip. So,
Absolutely.
EDC family, earlier we got the wrong information off of a website. The pocket clip can be moved to tip up right or left and tip down right or left. So whichever you like. Okay. That's nail number 2. Do you have a third nail for him, bud?
You kind of stole where I was going, is just the over tightening from factory.
Was there anything else you didn't really like? What about like the box that comes in for these? For the money you spend on a Spyderco, I'm just going to give you a little help. Like,
no, I would go with that for sure. Compared to some of the other knives, we just had the Vosteed Parallel on. If you haven't seen that video yet, you get that one, and that was very comparably priced at, what was this one at?
I think it was like $198 or something.
Yeah, so it's comparably priced to that Parallel from Vosteed. You got a orange hard case box with it. You got a cleaning cloth. You got the packaging was just
you do get a little sticker, you know, but that's about it.
Yeah, and for the price, the packaging could be a little better.
Would you really give this up for one of those Pelican style cases?
You do not see bubble wrap all that often anymore.
Well, you know, you do when you buy Spydercos. Tell you that much. Doesn't matter how much you spend on these things, you're going to get bubble wrap.
But I mean, it adds layer of protection. But yes, packaging could use a little bit of an upgrade. I would absolutely agree with that for a need.
Well, I'm glad I was able
nail.
to assist you open that real quick. So our nails, my friend, let's go through those one more time to our EDC family so we can stop the video here. Packaging was number 3 because, you know, bubble wrap's fun, but, you know, you're not going to keep it. You know, this knife's going to go into a whole different case, right? Usually. Nail number 2 was going to be the ergos, right? And the hot spot with the pocket clip. Even though you can move it, this is a right, you know, tip up right hand.
This is how I prefer to carry a knife, yep.
Finally, I went with the fit and finish and the quality control. I mean, it's just, you know, you don't want a knife that's hard to open that you spend that kind of money on. You know, right away, you don't want to see centering so darn bad. You don't want so much oil on it that when you first take the knife out, it's getting all over stuff. You know, I'd like to see a little bit more tighter quality control on these. And I think that kind of gives us 3 and 3. We have a tiebreaker. Oh, wave those 3s. We got 3 needs. We got 3 nails. I think it's my turn, right?
I believe it is your turn.
Mine the tiebreaker. You know what I like most about this knife?
Comes down to you.
I think we're gonna carry it and give it a shot, but there's a problem with that.
What would the problem be?
Well, Kitten and I and Professor and I, we bought this knife for you.
What?
Yeah, this is a Herc gift. Thank you, buddy. So you're going to have to carry this, and
yes.
you're going to have to come on and let the EDC family know if it passes. Now, I know it's hard to bury a gift, but let's use our honesty when you come back. That's what they come to our channel for, right?
You know I'll use it honestly. So.
That's why we get the big sponsors like Spyderco and Olight and, you know, Monster Energy. Soon we're going to have, I believe we just got a phone call from AppMax. You know?
Ooh.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, they love our pocket checks with coins, you know.
That's impressive.
Oh, wait a minute. That was all in a dream last night. We don't have any sponsors. You know, but we do love our EDC family.
Well, right? Thank you very much. This is definitely going to be valued and carried, and I will love looking at this and using this, so I appreciate that.
Well, we love that you love it, and I think you can kind of start our outro for us today, huh?
Yeah, absolutely. Remember, EDC fam, you can follow us on all social media sites by just typing in carryorbury, all one word. We always love to see what's in your pockets, what's in your shopping cart. You'd like to see what you'd like to see in our pockets very soon, or in your pockets. Everybody's pocket. Who doesn't love a pocket?
Everybody loves pockets.
I love pockets. All EDC gear is loved by us, not just knives. You see us carrying torches, coins, all that good stuff. Remember that. Don't forget to carry us with you by clicking subscribe, turning on those notifications. Also really helps if you Spidey flick, if I could do it. Might have to have Prophet here show me. Spidey flick that like button if you want more content like this. With your help, we'll be the most prepared family on YouTube and beyond. The one and only EDC family.
Ooh, I like that. I like that. I'll wrap it up for us, bud. So, thanks for bearing with our long box opening videos, EDC family. We love you guys. Until next time, EDC family, keep those blades sharp. Now, I didn't carry a torch today, so I'm hoping Herc is realizing where I'm going with this. Keep those blades sharp. Keep those flashlights charged. And folks, if you're anything like Prophet, because Herc doesn't have this problem, but as you can see, I have to keep those Band-Aids close, right? But as always, you know, knives aside, flashlights or torches aside, pocket pieces aside, you, them,
me,
you, all of us, and all of them.
Everybody.
They are, we are, you are really the sharpest tool in your EDC loadout, so sharpen your minds. Thank you all so much. God bless. We'll see you soon. And again, thank you,
EDC family.
Bye.